Hey guys, we're going to read through how plants grow. I'm going to post this video on your Google Classroom, and I'll follow that up with some questions. So read along with me now, and then when I'm done, I'll post the section also in a PDF so that you guys can go through and then reread. So here we go. Plants grow and reproduce. Okay, so have you ever looked closely at a dandelion? Every yellow flower is made up of many smaller flowers. Each of those flowers forms a seed. A silky parachute is attached to each seed. When the wind blows, the parachutes carry the seeds away. How do these parachutes help the dandelion reproduce? Right? So you have a seed connected to a parachute. It floats all over the place, lands in the ground. What do you think happens? It grows, right? It's going to grow in different areas. It helps those parachutes help seeds spread across the land and find fertile soil. So let's take a look. Each dandelion seed holds a new plant and food to help it start to grow. So here's the vocabulary that we're going to go through. It says, science vocabulary. Photosynthesis, right? See this phonetic spelling? Photosynthesis. Photosynthesis. Photosynthesis, a plant uses the energy of sunlight to make food. That is going to be on page 11. Green leaves carry out photosynthesis. So there's the green leaves right there. The sun's hitting them. They use sunlight to make food. Conifer. A conifer is a seed plant that reproduces with cones. Look at these cones. These are the seeds right there for that plant. Right there are the cones. Pine tree would be a conifer. Pollination. Pollination is the movement of pollen from a stamen to a pistil or from a male cone to a female cone. When a butterfly carries pollen from a flower to flower, pollination occurs, right? You can see, look right there if you look real closely. That's pollen on that butterfly's leg. All right, so let's keep on keeping on. So the words that we're going to focus on as we read is conifer, fertilization, inherited, photosynthesis, pollination, and seed dispersal. Let's keep going. Fertilization. Pay attention to the phonetic spellings whenever they give that to you. That'll definitely help you. In fertilization, an egg and a sperm cell join. See that? Fertilization takes place in the ovule of a flower. And so right here is the ovule, right there. Seed dispersal. What do you guys think that means? Seed dispersal. Well, in seed dispersal, seeds of a plant are carried to a new place. Just like, oh, look, here's the little parachute right there. That's a dandelion, and on that dandelion is a seed. Isn't that cool? And so when the wind blows it, these little parachutes carry all the seeds across the land. That's pretty neat. Wind helps in the seed dispersal of dandelions. Inherited. An inherited characteristic, right, is passed down from parents to offspring. And that can apply to seeds as well and plants. The color of each tulip was inherited from its parents, right? So, purple parents, red parents, yellow parents. All right? So here we go. How plants grow. Have you ever looked closely at a plant? If so, you know it's made up of leaves and stems and roots. It may also have flowers and fruits. Each of these parts carries out a different job, but they all work together to help the plant grow and reproduce. Like all living things, plants need food for energy. And remember, how do plants get food? Through what process? Do you remember? Photosynthesis, right? But unlike animals, most plants are able to make their own food, right? They don't have to go look for it. They use the sunlight. Plants use food and other nutrients to live and grow larger, just like we do, right? So the different parts of this pepper plant work together to help it grow and reproduce. So let's look at these different plants. Leaves make food through what? Photosynthesis. The sun hits it, and they use the sunlight to create food. Peppers are fruits that hold seeds. They help the plant reproduce. Peppers are a fruit because the seeds are inside, by the way. They're inside. When that falls to the ground and rots, the seeds fall out and create new plants, right? Stems support the plant and move water, nutrients, and food through the plant, right? Right. Here we go. Oh, and then roots. We need the roots. This is a very important part of the plant, right? We need those roots down in the soil, right? Roots take in water and nutrients from the soil. The soil has nutrients and food that it brings up. So when it gets that, it brings it up through the plant and into the leaves, right? And then the leaves use photosynthesis to turn those nutrients into food for the plant. Sunlight, all that stuff. Plants make food by photosynthesis. Photosynthesis uses the energy of sunlight to change water and carbon dioxide into food. You know, carbon dioxide is what we breathe out, right? The water comes from the soil, the carbon dioxide comes from the air, right? To carry out photosynthesis, leaves use a green substance called chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is able to capture the energy of sunlight. Leaves use this energy to combine water and carbon dioxide, making food. This process gives off oxygen. And what do we do with the oxygen? Grace, what do we do with it? We breathe it in, right? The oxygen gas goes into the air. So, sunlight plus water, carbon dioxide equals food. And that whole process of making food for the plants, right? The trees and the plants, gives off oxygen. Why is that so important to humans? Why is that so important to humans? Because humans need what to breathe? Grace? Oxygen. Very good. Leaves make food for a plant by photosynthesis. Man, look at that beautiful picture. So think about how important the leaves are to a plant. Think about that. And think about how important plants are to human beings, right? And how important we are to them, really. Plants with seeds. Scientists classify plants according to the way they reproduce. Most plants reproduce with seeds. The largest group of seed plants are the flowering plants. Roses and dioecious are flowering plants. You may be surprised to learn that grasses have flowers too. Trees that have broad leaves, such as oaks, also have flowers. The seeds of all flowering plants grow in fruits. A second group of seed plants do not have flowers. These plants form their seeds in cones, right? So no flowers, just cones. There's no fruits that come from these. And these plants are called conifers. Plants that have cones are called conifers. Think cones, conifers, right? Pine trees are conifers. Conifers have leaves shaped like needles or scales. Come on, you guys are all familiar with this up north, aren't you? Right? All right. So look, we got all these flowering plants, and then I don't know. Do you see any conifers off in the distance? I think I see one here. I see one here. One here. All right. All right. Plants without seeds. Ferns and mosses do not form seeds. These plants reproduce with spores. Spores are much smaller than seeds. Spores do not carry food for the young plant, right? You may have seen ferns grow on the forest floor. Like seed plants, ferns have roots, stems, and leaves, right? So they're the same. They just reproduce differently, right? Mosses are usually much smaller than ferns. They do not have roots or stems to carry water and nutrients to the rest of the plant. Instead, mosses grow low to the ground. Look at that beautiful fern there. Right there. This tree fern grows in the damp woodlands of Tasmania. All right, I think we're done. We're done with this lesson. So here are the 3 questions that I'm going to do for you in a Google form. What 2 groups of plants reproduce with seeds, right? page was that found on? We just read that. So think about that when you go through. Think about when you should read the questions first. Think about what page number was that on? How do leaves make food for the plant? Right? Come on, what's that big word? Again, find the page number. Write it down in your notes as you read. Right? Infer, right? So what you know, so what I know, plus what I read, what you've read, equals what you infer. We've done this all year, right? Spruce trees have leaves that are shaped like needles. Do you think spruce trees reproduce with flowers or cones? Explain your answer. So, flowers or cones? And explain this about the difference between flowers and cones. So, what page number or numbers where you could find the answers on, right? All right, I want you to think about that as you take your notes. All right, so, screen back up here. I'm going to go ahead, ooh, just my eyes. I'm going to go ahead and put this PDF, my video, and the Google form into Science. I want you to answer those 3 questions, and I want you to reread the selection, okay? You can read along with me and then reread it. All right. Tadero, out.